and Catholic Nest. So I'm going to share my Year 6, which is Grade 5, son's curriculum picks. So this is my struggling learner. He is 10 at the moment, and he's just had a harder time learning to read and write, and so some of his choices will reflect that. So the first thing I've chosen for him is Easy Peasy Language Arts, and I put him in level 4 just so I don't want him to find it too overwhelming. And he's a child that really values being able to do things independently and finds it very frustrating that he hasn't always got the ability to do that. So I put him in Language Arts Workbook 4. The first time we've used these, and I have to say I really like them. So this is everything they're covering. There's lots of writing opportunities in them, but not in a huge, overwhelming way. So loads of writing prompts, comprehension, grammar, a bit of spelling, and there's a project at the end as well, which I thought was really nice. It seems that each language arts book has a final project, and the one for this level is all about investigating his family tree and all about him. His little page is about members of the family, and then looking into the grandparents on both sides, and then great-grandparents. So you're finding out loads about the family, and then writing lots about himself as well. So I thought it was a really nice way to end the language arts. So these come with a guidebook as well. This is the parents' guide. So you do need this, as it often has word lists and things in it that aren't included in the workbook and that you need to read out to the child. So they're only little short segments for the parent to look through before the lesson. Even though the language arts does include a lot of grammar in, we're still going to carry on just plodding through the St. Jerome grammar. So we only started this last term, so we've still got quite a bit to go through, and it's the Grade 4, which is the UK Year 5. So it's going to carry on with that. For spelling, we're going to carry on again with the Years 1 to 6 spelling lists book. So we're just going to keep going with that. And I found this free spelling journal from Kathy Jo DeVore's Lulu site, which I've shared in the Free and Thrifty Curriculum Picks video. And this is just going to help with spelling rules, and at the end of the week when he does his spelling test, he's going to just file the words away in the right category under the right spelling rule. I just thought it was a nice way of just reviewing and going over different spelling rules. So for handwriting, he has been doing copywork just into his narration book for the last part of last year, which he's really getting on with. He's still got plenty of room to carry on with that. But he has recently asked to learn cursive, which was a total surprise. So I've just put him on a cursive lower level handwriting book just to get him used to writing cursive, as he's very new to it. So I've just got the Good and the Beautiful level 4 handwriting. I thought their cursive was a bit more legible than some of them, and I like the way they did a lot of hand holding in the beginning of their books. So he'll put his speed through this, and then I'll get him another one, which I haven't brought yet. We'll see how he gets on with this and what he fancies moving on to after that. So I don't make ours do cursive, but certainly if they want to choose to do it themselves and they're interested in it, then I'll definitely support that. So he does need practice in reading fluency. So last year he went through the first eclectic reader from the McGuffey's, and that really helped. The McGuffies have word lists with them, and what we did was just practice the word list. I made some of them into flashcards, or we just used the list. And once he's smooth with the list, then we'll read the story. What I tend to do is gather up lots of the lists together, and we'll go through all those lists. And when he's got a few stories to go, he's covered that list, we can go through it that way. So he'll be doing the second McGuffie's reader this year. So as well, for reading fluency, I'm going to use reading pathways. I like the way that this is laid out so that they can just practice a group of words again and again and again in this pyramid form until they get really smooth with those words. So obviously some of them will be easy for him, some of them he needs a bit more practice with. So I just thought that'd be a little extra thing that we could work through, because it all helps get him reading more fluently. He still has lots of space in his Animal Lovers Fun Schooling journal. That's something that he enjoyed last year and got him interested in writing. Lots of drawing, he's very artistic. So there's lots of space left in that to go. So I think we'll just put that on maybe like the odd Friday. I'm going to alternate it with this Fun School journal from the Thinking Tree. I got this second hand on eBay as it's a bit pricey new. It's called Pondering the Past, a creative introduction to 30 classical stories. I'm going to include a lot of audiobooks for my son this school year. Because he does struggle a little with reading, he's not reading the level of classical books that, say, his brother was at this age. I noticed when I came to my eldest with doing creative writing and descriptive writing, you could tell he'd read a lot of good books and been exposed to a lot of good literature. Because my son, this son isn't able to read those independently. Obviously we do read alouds and things like that, but I still would like him to be exposed to lots of good quality descriptive literature, which will help his writing down the line. So I'm going to download a lot of good quality literature and incorporate that into his lessons. So I thought we could use this as part of that. It has lots of classical literature in here. I'll probably hop about rather than do things in order, and if I find a bunch of these as audio files, and we can incorporate them when he's listened to the audio book, he can then go on to do the very basic activities in here. So it tends to have a bit about the author, a little excerpt from the story. They write the details, names and descriptions of characters, a bit of copywork, and illustrations to do with the story and what they can learn from the past about the story. So it's really only like a little tiny bit of a literature study, but a very gentle introduction. But that really would suit my son very well at this point. So rather than just have him be exposed to this tiny little bit of literature, I would choose a story that he was going to listen to the whole audiobook with, and then after he'd listened to the audiobook, he would then do the little excerpt afterwards. So that's how I plan to use this. So that's another Thinking Tree journal. Also for literature, I plan to use this. This is a book, a box of 20 Shakespeare children's stories. I think I got it from bookstodoor.com. They were on offer. I got it a few years ago, and my eldest read and listened to these, and he now really has real interest in Shakespeare and is really looking forward to studying Shakespeare at secondary level. So obviously they're very basic, but they tell the stories in story form, and they have an audio CD at the back. I just think they're a nice, gentle introduction to Shakespeare, My eldest enjoyed them, and I think my 10-year-old will too. If you're after a more classical introduction to Shakespeare, I know, is it Charles and Mary Lamb do this Shakespeare stories in story form, which was going to be my go-to for Shakespeare until I saw these on offer, and I just thought we'd try these. So he's going to be working his way through these as well this year. I also found this book in a charity shop, 75p. I thought the reading level looked quite nice for him. I think when you have a struggling older reader, it's an issue trying to find books that aren't babyish. So when you find books or a series that actually does pique their interest and has a more exciting plot line than some of the easier readers that would be more around their level, it's nice. So I'm hoping that he'll enjoy this and he can read this to me as one of his reading books. So I thought that was quite nice. That was an Enid Blyton book. Also got the second hand, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, C.S. Lewis books. Something else he can listen to. So I plan to just kind of pick up a whole load of classical full audio books. So here's my 10-year-old's curriculum picks. They're kind of bits and bobs, and a lot of bits we were already doing. So for maths, he's carrying on with Matthew C, with weekly times table bits on a Friday, and one or two of the Humble Maths kind of supplement books on particular topics. So hopefully that's been helpful. And that's his full English bits that I've got out ready for him for this school year, moving forward. So thank you very much for watching. Please consider subscribing and liking the video. Thank you.